episode 4 of the Hooligans Pitch. I'm Michael.
We back, baby.
We did it. Here. We're here again. I can't believe it. We've been doing good on this consistent Sunday basis right now. I think we're gonna do a good job of keeping it that way for the rest of the season.
It's just so nice to be able to talk footy.
Oh gosh, the pod before the pod, as we talked about. So
that's that behind the scenes stuff. Yeah,
we'll maybe put that out later. So you're not having a beer. I will have a beer for you. Okay. Sounds like you had a fun night.
Well, you go out to Sac Republic game, you get a win. Well, why not have another drink when you get
why not, baby? Why not? Well,
then
go ahead. Yeah.
Some days you feel it a little more. So I got the nice water, hydro homies.
There you go. Well, I went to a rodeo last night. I saw some barrel racing, some professional bull riding. It was a very Midwestern thing of me to do. I did realize that these events stress me out a lot, and my heart rate went from like resting 60, 70 beats per minute to like 110. Yeah, man. When there's a bucking bronco like 5 feet away from you, and there's just like a little fence that's like metal, I was like, oh man.
You were like that close.
Oh, it was close. Yeah, it was pretty close.
Oh, wow.
I'll send you a video, but yeah, it was stressing me out. But I had a nice cold Bud Light to cool me down, and but I'm having a little log boat snapper, little local brew here, pretty tasty. Okay, it's got a little snapping turtle on it because we see a lot of those out here, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Like they're just everywhere?
I saw a guy get out of his car when we were driving to the park. He got out of his car to move a turtle. I don't know if it was a snapping turtle, but it looked like one. But he moved it across the street, and I was like, that is crazy that these things are just out here. Like, that's the thing now.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It's wild. All right, let's talk footy.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. We got to start with League Cup, because that's kind of where we left off.
Oh, my God.
We got to go even further back. We have to talk about Liverpool Man U.
Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about.
Oh, we're going back a week.
I forgot about all this. Well, I mean, I only caught like 20 minutes of the first half because I was at the airport and then on the flight. But from what I saw of that, it didn't look great.
It was not great, Chad. It was not. It was stressful. It was unorganized. There was no threat. Backline looked terrible. Everyone just lagged a step. It was everything that we talked about the day prior. That all happened. That all came true. And, at one point, Jurgen's just laughing because that's all you can do at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Teams show up against Liverpool. If Liverpool don't show up, that's their own fault.
Oh, yeah.
On the flip side, which we'll talk about later, they showed up this weekend. Whew. My lord, but that's another topic. But that was unfortunate. I don't want to talk about it too much because it was so long ago, and it's like totally a thing of the past at this point.
For sure, yeah.
But man, they just looked awful. Backline was bad, just unorganized, no attacking threat. Salah not getting a goal this weekend too was a little like why didn't he score a goal for scoring 9? Does that mean everyone's looking at him? Everyone else is open? It didn't seem like that. To me, it didn't seem like that, at least from watching the game. Yeah. It could be that, but I didn't get that sense. Everyone just played great. That's what it looked like.
Well, it's Liverpool had a tough start, and so did United. So they both kind of went into that game probably hoping that would be the kind of kickstart to their season, and I don't know. I guess United came in a little hungrier.
Definitely that. They were definitely hungry. And then for the League Cup games, we had a couple clean sheets that really brought people up the table in our league. Clean sheet for Crystal Palace, clean sheet for Everton, clean sheet for Southampton, clean sheet for Brentford, but Ben Mee didn't play in that game, and a clean sheet for Brighton, and Newcastle played. They didn't get a clean sheet, and then Leeds didn't get a clean sheet. So those little games here and there, if you got players in them, whoever, I think a couple players had Keane, which we saw Keane on the pitch twice this week. That could be. Well, what is that? Why did he come in now? I don't see why Everton isn't playing a back three of Cody, Tarkowski, and Keane. That seems perfect.
Yeah, I think that's probably a smart move because they still are struggling defensively. So why not? Those are kind of your biggest names in the team right now. So might as well use them.
Yeah, exactly. They're all 29 and 30 years old. They're all I would say in their prime. Everton put away. Gosh, who did they play when they won just 1-0 against Fleetwood? Not Fleetwood Mac, just Fleetwood Football Club. To only win 1-0 against them, that's a little discouraging, especially when you're playing against much better teams in the league. But yeah, not really special games this week. I know you didn't catch any, but it wasn't anything special. So
yeah, no
I don't
upsets
want to
really.
Nah, I don't. No upsets at all. However, Leicester almost blew it. We can maybe talk about that a little bit.
Well, that's just Leicester being.
Should we just talk Leicester right now? Because I'm dying to talk.
Might as well.
Okay. We said a week ago, Brendan Rodgers' job is on the line. It is. I had a dream, Chad, that he got canned last night. I know I texted you this, but I woke up. It's like the first thing I did this morning. I got on Google. I did one of those like is Brendan Rodgers still the coach of Leicester? And I was like, oh, he is. I was like, wow, that's crazy. They look terrible.
There's such a weird team right now. Like they used to have some level of threat to them, and it just seems like now they don't. It's like Vardy, I think, isn't playing poorly necessarily, but they're just not feeding him as much, not being able to find him enough. And then, they keep doing the thing where they score and then let teams come back and beat them or draw. And it's like, you can't be in the winning position and then give it away like that and expect to perform well in the standings.
They were up a man at the 28th minute.
Well, that's just like that's probably the worst Leicester being Leicester case, right? You have a man up for what, like
two-thirds of the match.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read you the timeline. Let me read you the timeline here. Gallagher, 22nd minute, yellow card. Gallagher, 28th minute, red card. Okay, 2 yellows.
He's stupid.
That was so bad. It makes you. I looked in our banter text group too, just to see what they were saying, and it wasn't much. And usually that's when that's pretty bad. Yeah. And then 2 yellow cards went to Leicester afterwards. Second half got started. Sterling scores right away. Rodgers comes in, makes 2 super offensive subs. Perez and Iheanacho comes in. 7 minutes later, Sterling scores again. As soon as that happened, I saw the stat line. I was like, they're done. They're not going to win this game. There's no way.
No.
And 3 minutes later, Vardy set up Barnes. And then after that, it was it. It was done. I turned on the game after Leicester scored. I was like, oh, maybe it's going to get interesting. And it didn't.
I mean, I get that even a 10-man Chelsea is still a good squad. Like, player for player, you're better than Leicester. But, you got to be able to take advantage of having that extra man, right? Like, how are you, not scoring in that first half before they have a chance to go in and, Tuchel can readjust some tactics or whatever? Like, I don't know. That the Leicester team is just trash.
They are. They honestly are trash, and it sucks to see Vardy. Vardy's 35 years old. You can't expect him to be performing how he was 5 years ago. You can't. No. You need everyone else to step up, and they didn't have James Maddison this week. I think that's a big blow. He was one of their best goal scorers last year. Super efficient, and he's been scoring goals for them this year. To not have him, that's pretty big. But that's exactly the prime moment for someone else to take that spotlight, and no one did it.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, Harvey Barnes, you said, scored.
Yep.
For them, and he looks good, but again, it's one player is providing some level of threat. Where's the rest of your team?
Hanging out, literally hanging out, and I don't think Rodgers can fire him up. How do you? I mean, I'm not saying this is all Rodgers' fault, but at some point a manager has to come in and be like, look, this is my fault. And he's kind of just blaming everyone, kind of saying, talking shit about Fofana. He might be cool with the guys who have been there a little longer, but I don't know. So from a fantasy standpoint, I feel like any player on their team right now, you just don't want to have because they're just not scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I guess defensively, like that might be your best option. Like you'll get the clearances and blocks and stuff, but other than that,
the attacking threat is done of Leicester.
Yeah. There's no attack. Like even in the midfield, Tielemans used to put up decent points at least, and I mean last season he was pretty poor, and like so far this season he hasn't done much either. And I don't know what their plan is because they've signed literally no one. Like, and I get clubs need to sell sometimes first to purchase, but the window closes on Thursday. That's just days away, and you've brought no one in. And if you don't, you're expecting that team to somehow survive the league with the World Cup thrown into the mix.
They've got 1 point in their last 4 games. They're bottom of the table, 10 goals allowed, -4 goal difference, and where do you go from here?
Yeah, you're in a tough spot. It's I guess you have to kind of look to Rodgers, right? Like you can't.
That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah, you can't get rid of your whole squad. So change the manager. Hopefully, new direction will vitalize some players. And
I think they need some youth. I think they need some youth in there. They need a new face. They need someone to get them motivated. They're just so lethargic.
Yeah,
like literally, they're just sitting there. They're just not moving. They're not moving at the pace they used to move. Even from maybe not last year, but like 2 years ago, that squad they were moving pretty good, and now it's a shell of themselves. And then I want to just quickly talk about Mason Mount since everyone has him. He did get subbed off defensively. It was definitely a tactical sub, but I mean, it's hard to keep him in right now when they're doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've been looking at. Because everyone has him, I want to try and get away from that. But a lot of just midfield players right now don't seem to be doing all that much.
Right.
So, I don't know. At this point, I'm just hanging on to Mount and hoping he has a game or two here where he performs as well as he can. And, I'd hope that he's able to, at least feed some good passes to Sterling and get some assists here and there. But he hasn't been able to do that even. So,
what will it take for you to sub him out?
I mean, I'd say another 1 to 3 games of the level he's been performing at, and then he's probably
goose eggs.
Just I can't afford to carry him that long. Like it's already hard enough right now with no Fofana, no Bednarak playing in my defense because they're transferred or getting transferred, and no one wants to play him so they don't get hurt.
Do you not have Mings either?
I don't have Mings, no.
No Mings, okay. For me, I'm mostly waiting on someone else to sub him first, to be honest. Mm-hmm. If someone makes that move, I'll probably consider it. With everyone having him, though, it's almost just like no one will sub him. Unless you need to make a game-changing move, which isn't going to happen this early. So, if he's getting zeros, everyone's getting zeros. So it's really, you're not losing out on much. However, if you make that sub now, say for Odegaard, who's having an amazing season so far, that would be a crazy sub that I'm sure others are considering. I just want someone to do it first. I'm not ready to jump off the boat there and go to the Odegaard ship. I'm going to stay with the Mount ship for just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So
like you said, everyone has them, so no one's winning or losing really here. But something will happen for sure.
And with the World Cup too, that's making subs really tricky. Mm-hmm. I'm super, super hesitant on doing a second sub before the World Cup, just in case. I mean, hell, what if we go to this Cup and we come back without Kane, without... I'm trying to just go through my squad really quick on who might not play. Say Soucek, Kane, and... who's part of my back four? Probably, let's go Mings. Say all 3 of them get hurt. Like, that's brutal, and I don't want to be in a situation where I can't get any of them out. So I'm going to stay super patient. I'm going to bite my tongue on talking shit about my own team. But, man, I really want to sub some players out, but I just know it's not the smart move. It's too early.
Yeah, long season. No need to rush it.
Yep. Anything else you want to talk about the Chelsea-Leicester game?
Not really. I mean, I guess it's nice to see that Sterling finally scored.
Yeah, nice little brace there. Yep. I bet Jimmy was happy.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, beyond that, like, just laughed at Leicester, mate, most of the time.
Yeah, it's awful. It's hard. So, okay, so as we move into week 5, if Brandon Rodgers loses another game, is he still their manager after week 5?
So I have a new challenger for you.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those two are going first.
I'll give my reasons when we talk about Aston Villa when we get to Sunday's games. But yeah, he's up there. He's definitely up there. So I'll do my comparison between the two. And mostly their tenure with their clubs. And Brandon Rodgers has been around so much longer. And I feel like Aston Villa is probably... I bet someone in there has watched All or Nothing and saw where Arteta did. Now, nowhere on the same level as terms of their squad and their depth and everything. But I think managers and clubs have to be patient with the club they have, the players they have, and the transition they're going through. But yeah, we'll get there in a second. I want to just quickly bring up Southampton and Man U. Man U still looks awful. They barely beat Southampton.
So yeah, I just watched the extended highlights of this, but I mean, I kind of got the same vibe. It like seemed very back and forth, just like playing at the same level, right? It wasn't a clear United has these, much better players on paper, so they are dominating. It was like they just kind of snuck away with a win. Like
I couldn't agree more with that. They didn't do anything special. They only won 1-0 thanks to Bruno.
I mean, even then, Southampton seemed to have a good amount of chances. They just weren't clinical enough with their shooting. So. Yeah,
De Gea actually played pretty decent that game, which I feel like I don't say that very often. So for me to compliment De Gea is kind of a big deal. But yeah, Southampton has questions. I don't understand what they're doing with their back line. We're not seeing Bednarak play. He played in the cup game, but then immediately got benched for this weekend, possibly because of the transfer window closing, so they don't want to have him risk getting hurt. But I'm like, why would you play him in a cup game, but then not play him in a league game, saying, well, we don't want to risk our transfer? It's like, that makes no sense.
Yeah,
you would think it'd be the other way around.
I mean, I don't know Southampton as a club enough, but I don't feel like they are hurting for money. So if you have, a healthy, normal starter, why not play them? And I mean, look, the chances of them getting a big enough injury that it collapses the transfer is pretty slim, right? Like, if he picks up a knock here or there, most teams will still go through with the transfer. And he doesn't start right away, but he's still on the team for the next 3-4 years, whatever.
They did the exact same thing last year with Vestergaard. When Vestergaard got transferred to Leicester, he was not fit.
Yeah,
and then Leicester worked him up, and now they're not playing him. That's another story. No. But I find that interesting. Okay, hot take: could you see Aston Villa doing a straight swap? Maybe some fees or another player included, but a straight swap for Mings for Bednarak.
Yeah, I guess potentially. I mean, if Mings and Gerrard are at wit's end and just can't reconcile their differences or whatever is going on, then it's definitely one of the easier ways out. I mean, maybe you can find someone to buy him. I don't know, but you're still going to need to cover that center back spot, whether it's the starter or just backup.
Right. And
Bednarak has always performed pretty well, I think.
Man, he gets banger goals off of corners. He scored so much last year off of them.
Yeah, and he's been in the league a long time, so he's got the experience to help out in the dressing room too, even if you don't want to start him every week. But I'd like that. I'd like it too. I think it'd probably be a fresh
ish start for Mings, even though he's a little older. I feel like he would be the clear number one in that dressing room. He'd be a big deal coming in there. Probably the best player they've had come in and ever since I can remember. He did play. Speaking of Mings, he did play in the cup game this past week. So for him to not play this weekend because he was ill, it's very hard for me to buy. Gerard said he had a fever or something, which could very well be true. But with all the stuff going on, all the transfer rumors, all the headaches that they've had with each other, that's super hard for me to believe. I don't have much more to say about Southampton or Man U there, but that was a boring game. I got up early for that one, and I was like, oof. Could have slept in. I wanted to see how Man U played after Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now they didn't play terrible, but I would not say they played great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say they played good.
Yeah, from what I saw, they looked just a teensy bit more confident in their positioning and stuff. But overall performance, I think, is still way below where they should be.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's talk about Liverpool really quick. Is Bournemouth that bad?
So, I think it's hard to judge Bournemouth right now because they won their opening day game against Aston Villa, but then they had to go up against City, Arsenal, and Liverpool.
Yes, that's rough.
So it's a rough go.
They are beating a dead horse right now with that team.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think they're necessarily bad. I just don't think they have done enough in the transfer market to compete at the higher end of the table, which is understandable. He just came up. But I was kind of wondering why we haven't seen Neto in goal, right? You brought him in. I get he's older than Travers is their starting keeper. So I looked up some stats on him just to see why they're sticking with him when you can at least try Neto, right? So over the last 4 matches, Travers and Bournemouth as a whole have conceded 16 goals and just the 1 clean sheet on opening day.
9 of those being Liverpool, correct?
Correct, yeah. Okay. So last year when they were in the championship, Travers was their starting keeper. So in 45 appearances, he only conceded 39 and 20 clean sheets. So
how do you know his age?
I don't have it written down here, but he's much younger, I think, than Neto, because I think Neto's
23. 23.
Yeah, I think Neto's in his early 30s or something.
Yeah, 33 for Neto, 23. I mean, I want to say Bournemouth is on the youth movement. Their goal is to stay in the EPL.
Yeah.
Get those young guys experience. Now, I could definitely see if relegation is coming around, they're being like, okay, this guy's not Premier League ready. We need to get Neto in there just to keep us here. I could see that switch happening. When it happens, probably when Leicester and Everton and who else is bottom? Probably when those bottom 3 teams aren't the bottom 3 anymore and Bournemouth are. That's when me personally, I could see at least a thought of it coming. But right now it's Wolverhampton. So Bournemouth is sitting 17th, and then Everton 18, 19, Wolverhampton 20, Leicester. Only a point difference from 17 to 18, but
yeah,
that would be my mindset, especially as just a young team overall. You got to get those young guys just to have the experience.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering how it'll go over the next few games. I think this Liverpool game was a little bit of a culmination of 2 heavy defeats, and then you start this game and you've lost by halftime, right? So I think it just stacks up, and everyone has lost confidence and just a real will to fight, which understandable, but I mean, yeah, you played 3 top table teams when you're newly promoted. It's going to be rough. So hopefully we're expecting that and can come out of that okay. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's hard to judge them right now. I can't really tell if they're bad or they're just not good enough to be towards the top.
Lack of experience might be a better word than Bournemouth being that bad. I mean, when you're going to go against Liverpool, take away the last 3 weeks, you're going to go against one of the best teams in the world. I'm surprised Salah didn't get a goal. Maybe he didn't. He toned it down a little to get everyone else. That's another thought I had, is maybe Salah wasn't trying to score as much because his confidence has been so high over the last couple of years. He doesn't need a confidence booster. But to get my offensive player of the week, Firmino, 3 assists, 2 goals, just lighting this team up. Yes, it's nice to see Firmino, the 30-year-old, beating up on a young team who doesn't have a lot of pace. Firmino's not fast, like he was blistering by people, but he was just, I don't want to say perfect, but pretty damn close to perfect. He was really good on the ball. He made smart decisions. And the team just, when the team can play so offensively and not have to worry about defense, man, that's a good place to be in.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that could be some of it too for Salah, is like, Liverpool took a decent lead pretty early. So like at that point, it's like, okay, I don't need to go out there and try extra hard, right? Like we're not chasing the game. We're not worried. Yeah. So like that could play into it, of just, play through the game. And if he can grab an assist or set up some other passes or whatever, cool. But he might just not feel like he has to be the go-to guy for goals anymore, especially in this game with, the lead coming so quickly.
Yeah, the goals came at the 3 minute, the 6 minute, the 28th, the 31st, the 45. So it's 5-0 by halftime, and then 62, 80, 85. Now, I am surprised Klopp left him on.
I think it would have been nice to just rotate and get some guys in there that don't play enough. Or
they made all the subs. They made every sub they possibly could. I have a feeling, though, Klopp probably just gave Salah the, take it easy. Don't get hurt. Don't do anything dumb. Like, just keep the ball moving. Make sure you're not going into crazy tackles and risking your body with a lead. Against Bournemouth, there's no reason to get hurt against a 9-0 game. It's just not worth it. So, not much more to say about that game. Besides my offensive player of the week, Firmino's my vote, so I'm curious to see who yours is. When we get to that game, just let me know, because we're going to go down. Brentford Everton, man, I don't really have much to say about that one. Boring.
I just watched like the highlights, and I mean, Anthony Gordon seems to be Everton's new main threat, but then there's all the talk of Chelsea wanting to buy him, so then Everton's going to sell off their main threat again and fight at the bottom of the table.
They might be hoping Calvert-Lewin comes back and can hold that. I mean, they're going to make a quick money grab here, and they have their striker coming back too. Which actually, let's check out when he comes back. It's got to be soon.
Yeah, I mean, I would just worry that you lost Richarlison. If you lose Gordon, Calvert-Lewin comes back, but like he's going to need some support cast, right? He can't do it all himself, so.
I agree with that.
They could have something lined up where if the sale goes through for Gordon, then splash the cash on someone else. But
Calvert-Lewin started training this week, so he'll probably be back estimated September 10th.
Okay,
so you're not too far away. It'll be interesting to see how this week's transfers play out, though. But do you want to talk about anything in that game? Because I honestly don't. Let's move on. Brighton leads 1-0 Brighton. My defensive player there is Sanchez, man. He's racking up the clean sheets. He's not letting any goals in the back of his net. It's pretty incredible to watch them play.
Brighton still looks good. I think they were a little bit wasteful from what I saw. They had some good looks, but just again couldn't really get the goal. And then Leeds looked okay from what I saw, but then just in defense, they just for the goal, they just left the whole left side open. Like, what are you doing? So I think they just got a little sloppy. But I think both those teams are pretty exciting to watch still, and I think Brighton especially is kind of has that same Leicester vibe when they won the title. Like, I don't think they're going to challenge for the title, but they have that same kind of underdog vibe to them right now.
So you would say the future is bright for Brighton?
Indeed.
Yeah, I would think so. They're sitting fourth right now, 10 points, tied with City and Tottenham. So, and Leeds right behind them. I mean, both their futures are great. They're in a great spot right now. I wouldn't feel too discouraged. I mean, they can look at it this way: 2 top 6 teams just went against each other and won 1-0. So you take that and you go with it and you learn from it. So yeah, Sanchez, man, that's a surprise pickup for a couple people, and it's been working out pretty good.
Yeah, like I know people picked him up last year, and I think I looked at him last year. Yeah, and like he was good last year, but I think Brighton as a whole has just stepped up a little bit more this year. But then he's just saving everything right now.
It's crazy, and the clean sheets got so many points, but I mean they're not allowing goals. Let's see, they went 2-0 against West Ham. 1-0 against Leeds, and I guess they were 0-0 with Brighton, and then 2-1 against Man U. So, I'd like them to go against the teams that are going to put goals on him to actually see, or shots, I should say. Once the frequency of shot goes up, I'd really like to see how he plays. So that'll be interesting. Who do they play next? Do you know?
No,
top of your head. They got Fulham next. Very winnable. But I like what Fulham's doing too. It will be a good game. That is next Saturday. I'll get the time here. Then the following week, September 4th, Labor Day, they are playing Leicester. So 2 very winnable games. I don't have a time here for their kickoff. Oh, it's Tuesday. We got to see them Tuesday. So it's probably 2:30. 2:30 for me, 12:30 for you.
Yeah.
So that'll be on. I'll be watching that for sure.
Yeah, that should be a good one.
We moved down. Last game for Saturday was Arsenal and Fulham. What'd you think?
Oh my goodness. So I didn't get to watch the game live. So I'm at work, go on my break, and it's at this point 90th minute, and I just see the stats, and it's I told you it looked like it was a spicy game.
Got real spicy at the end.
So I went back and watched all the highlights and stuff, and I was a little bit nervous before I'd watched those, in that it was Arsenal maybe just didn't look good, but from the highlights it looked like Arsenal was still dominant and had a lot of chances, and Fulham, their goal came from just a dumb mistake, which really I think it's his mistake, but I think Saka set him up with that pass in the get-go, where it's
he didn't help him. He didn't help him at all.
No, I don't think it was the smartest pass, and even if you're going to make that pass, it came a little too floaty. But then Gabriel it took him 2 or 3 touches to really get control of the ball, and then by that time, big old Mitrovic over there just bullying him off of it, which that guy is just he doesn't look that big, but he just bullies everyone.
He's big.
No, he looks big, but I don't know. I would picture him more of the Traore, just straight muscle, if he was bullying people the way he does, and he doesn't look like that to me. But he bullies people, and if you get caught like that, then just get rid of the ball. Don't try and do anything fancy with it. But beyond that, I think from what I saw, this easily in past seasons would have been a game that Arsenal lost once they went down. It was that normal setup where Arsenal's playing well, and then one defensive mistake pops up, and then they're on the back foot and just can't get it going, which I'm glad that didn't happen anymore. It seems like the team is getting better at clawing the way back into games, and I didn't write the stat down, but I think the time from being scored on to Arsenal scoring has been something 3.5 minutes on average of from conceding a goal to scoring.
Is that this season?
This season, yeah.
That's definitely from last week. Last week I'm pretty sure last week's game when remind me who they played, but as soon as they scored, they bounced back super fast. Like, yeah, you're right, 2 to 3 minutes, and they're coming back. So their composure has been pretty good when things get a little rocky. You got to give props to Arteta there. Just seeing the dressing room and how he handles all that controversy. I feel like he has a calming presence when things are a little dicey.
Yeah, I think he's one of those managers that's really good about like taking the pressure from the players and like taking the heat and keeping it on himself. And even in the all or nothing, when he's in the dressing room after a bad defeat or whatever, he's like not really harping on the players so much of like, what are you doing? It was like, yeah, we lost, that sucks, but we did this well, like you guys fought. And he's good at taking the pressure, but then also like spinning the negatives into a positive. And I think now we're kind of seeing the product of that, right? But since we're here, I will say that Odegaard's going to be my offensive pick of the week. This guy, true captain's performance. Some of his stats from this game, he had 40 final third passes.
Wow.
40, which is kind of crazy. 11 final third entries on his own. He won 8 duels, 3 tackles, 2 chances created, 3 shots with 2 on target, and the 1 goal. So he was just moving and grooving in that midfield and, pulled the strings. And I think he's looking great. Like, I think having the wings and Jesus up top gives him a little bit more room to operate. Like Lacazette used to kind of drop back and be in his zone. So he's just thriving. And I think he's going to continue to the whole season.
If there's one thing I want to say about Odegaard, is his left foot is crisp. It is money. He was just putting the ball in places he wanted to, anywhere he wanted. I was really trying to focus on how much he used his right foot on the ball, and it's very rare. It doesn't happen very often, but that ball is stuck to his laces on his left foot. When he's making his turns and his 360 spins, it was unbelievable to watch. So I think you have the offensive player of the week, so yeah, Odegaard definitely deserves it. He's fun to watch, and he's 23.
Yeah.
So, yeesh.
Yeah.
We're going to have him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, and what? I think Arsenal only paid like $30 million for him from Madrid.
Yeah, I bet they're kicking themselves right now. And what's funny is I remember watching his highlights in high school. Like, what? It feels like 15 years ago, but he would be 8 at the time, which I think he was probably more 13. So it was probably like 10 to 12 years ago. But it's cool to watch him now, like every weekend, and see what he's doing. So that's a good one. And then to see Gabby kind of redeem himself there to get the goal. It was a scrap goal, but
it was a classic Bernd Leno mistake. Like, I've seen him make that same mistake in the Arsenal jersey. Like, him coming out for crosses and stuff is just not his strong suit. And, it's still not his strong suit, obviously. But, he did end up having 10 saves on the day. So that's
wow. I didn't realize there were that many shots on goal.
Yeah.
All right, Chad. We have a Mitrovic alert.
All right.
We have a Mitrovic. I got goosebumps just talking about it. We predicted the future a little bit here. Glenn is subbing out Bowen for Mitrovic.
Oh.
So we get to finally see what we asked for. He sent me an email saying I need to get Bowen out, and I sent him the clip back of us talking about this a week ago, saying who has Bowen and why don't you have Mitrovic? I don't know if Glenn listened to this. He might have. Yeah. The only way he could have listened to this is if somehow he went on Apple Podcasts and looked up Hooligans pitch and then happened to be us in there, because I haven't said anything in an email chain to him. He's not in the Discord. So some brainwaves from us to him are definitely working. So that was fun to see. So he subbed him out this morning after the West Ham game. He was probably hoping that Bowen would do something, and he didn't. So Mitrovic is finally on the team. We got it. I'm really pumped to see what that can do. Where does Glenn sit in the standings right now? Glenn is sitting at 11th with 202 points. He is only 36 points down from the top, which is nothing. And I do want to say to the bottom dwellers right now, Laura and Jimmy, they're approximately 100 points down. You got to make some subs, but that is still, with the World Cup, there's so much uncertainty on what the hell is going to happen. I am so nervous for November and then this pool. And also, our pool is big. We got 15 people, $25 a pop. We'll have to work on the percentages a little bit because they might change with the the web design and all that stuff. But it's looking like the pot winner could be upwards of $200. So
yeah, it's pretty good.
It's still worth it. The dollars went up from last year. So yeah, I'm glad to see in the big scheme of things, Mitrovic is on a team. Pumped to see that. He's never been on anyone's squad before in our league. And I feel like he's been here forever. So glad that went through. Is there anything else you want to talk about Fulham or Arsenal here? Still top of the table? It's got to feel good.
Table. Two things. This was Arteta's 100 match in charge. He's had 53 wins. The only one above him was Arsene Wenger, who had 54 wins. So he's right there. Like, he's had more losses than Wenger did, but good to be on that top end and right under him in the wins column. I'm going to
stop you there just to talk about Wenger really quick. Do you know what this is? I mean, God, how many years ago? 25 plus years ago. Do you know the squad that Wenger had when he came in? Was it a good squad? I honestly don't know.
If I remember correctly, it was okay. Like, definitely Arsenal is still one of the top teams, but it definitely took them a few years to get in some key players to really get going.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I think Arteta probably came in with the worst squad, and that's probably reflected in the stats. I think he had like 30 losses or something, where Wenger had, I think, like 19 or something in his first 100. So.
But the win trajectory is very similar, which is good to see. Well, if you're an Arsenal fan, but
yeah. And then the last thing I'll say is that in the Premier League era, the last two times that Arsenal won their first 4 games, first time was the 03-04 season, the Invincibles. Second time was 04-05, they ended up second. So these are all good omens. I'm trying to take it game by game, but like, if they keep winning, that hopium is just going to grow and grow.
Yeah, don't let it get to your head now, because I've seen some things crash and burn as we're in our all or nothing. We just finished episode 7. They just lost to Liverpool. They just beat Aston Villa. And the preview for next episode did not look great. And it was so long ago, I honestly don't remember what happens, but there was a lot of kicking going on in their dressing room against the lockers. So I'm really jonesing to get back into that series.
Yeah, but yeah, we're taking game by game. Not trying to get too far ahead, but there's good omens out there.
And then, today's games, which is crazy. These days feel like it's been forever. Nothing special for me. West Ham finally scored a goal. Woohoo! Go David Moyes. You got one.
The only thing I wrote down. West Ham scored.
West Ham scored. Harry Kane is Harry Kane. It's a good fantasy day if you didn't miss a PK and earn a yellow. But
I mean, Forest looked pretty good. Tottenham seemed a little like, I don't think they were playing at full speed. They just seemed to like do enough to get by. Like, they got their goal pretty early on, and then we're just kind of cruising. And but I will shout out Dean Henderson. He made some key saves. I mean, the penalty save, I think it was Kane's first penalty miss in like 22 or something like that. Like,
is it the hat?
It's probably the hat.
I think it's the hat. He's the only keeper wearing a hat right now, and he's done it. I think in the last 2 to 3 games.
He knows something the others don't.
I know. It's like I wonder if he has something written under his bill and something's going on there. Because when Harry Kane went to step up to take the PK, I was like, oh, I bet he takes off his hat, because I'm like, the ball's like going to be here. But he kept it on, and I was surprised. And then, boom, he said, not today, sir.
That's it. The hat has all his power in there.
It would surprise me. The only highlight for me in that game, which I'm texting this to you right now, when Kane scored his second, Richarlison and Kane went into the crowd, and a lovely fan kissed Richarlison right on the forehead, just like that. So check out that screenshot I just sent you, because it's a good little picture.
What?
The other screenshot I was looking for, I was like, what? Did he just kiss him? And he totally did.
Oh my God.
The other screenshot I was trying to find, which I might even go back, does Peacock, you can replay the whole game, right?
You can. I think you might have to wait till like tomorrow, though.
Okay.
Or today. But.
There's a moment where Mitrovic is limping off because he got banged up. I mean, they were going at his legs, but he's walking off, kind of doing his lamp. And there's this Arsenal fan just flipping. He's like, "Fuck you, Mitrovic!" And Mitrovic is just going like, "Give it to me, just give it." And I want to find the video of that guy, dude, flipping him off and just screen cap that, because it's like that fan. I was like, what is that fan gonna do? He didn't compare to Mitrovic. And I looked up Mitrovic's weights and height. The dude is 6'2". His weight varied. It said he was like 190 to like 205, but come on, man, that dude's big. That's a big guy.
I mean, just look how he's been bullying Premier League defenders. Like, he's taking any fan. He don't care.
I don't like him, but he's kind of must-watch football right now.
Yeah, I mean, Fulham is, it's nice to have Fulham back, and like you always kind of want to see those newly promoted teams stay up and mix up the list a little bit. So if Mitrovic wants to lead that charge and have a little bit of a villain origin story to him, why not?
Let's keep the villain role going. That wraps it up for all the games. This is going to be a pretty busy week. There's only a couple more things I just kind of want to list off. I'll revert back to Gerrard and Rodgers, which we kind of spoke about earlier. And I'll just talk about it quickly, since Aston Villa lost today to West Ham. That's a brutal loss. West Ham hadn't scored a goal all year. You lose to them. Your best defender isn't playing because he's sick. The only thing Gerrard has going for him is this rebuild mode. Trust in the system. The system will get better with time. But I mean, they have a pretty good squad. On paper, they should be performing a lot better. Emi Martinez did not look happy back there after they scored their goal. I mean, he's trying, but your back line isn't anything special. So if they get Bednarak, that could be really good for them. I would love to see him with Mings. Honestly, if Bednarak and Mings are together, I want to keep them. I would love to have them together because I do think they can earn a lot of clean sheets together. They have. Mm-hmm. It's known in the past that Southampton and Aston Villa can get clean sheets. So I'm hoping that works out. I definitely think Rodgers is way more on the hot seat than Gerrard, if you're asking me that question. Based on coaching tenure, where the squad should be at. Leicester has been a top 6 team the last X amount of years. And now they aren't. Yes, they are getting older, but also Rodgers has been there for, how long now? They won the league in 2016. He's been there for almost 4 years. And what have they done? Nothing. What has Aston Villa done? They haven't done much either, but they're not expected to do much. So that's where my, if I had to compare the two, that's where my head's at.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like, I prefer teams like let a manager try and realize his vision of the team and club and everything, and that'll take time, and there's going to be a lot of ups and downs along that pathway. But I think it just depends how comfortable they are sitting at the bottom. Like for Leicester, it's probably more uncomfortable, but I don't know. I mean, I guess right now my 3 that I'm keeping an eye on are Rodgers, Gerrard, and Frank Lampard. Like
Moyes, you gotta throw Moyes in there. They won, but come on, man, 1 goal in 4 games.
He's definitely like right on the edge too, just because in recent seasons, like West Ham has performed fairly well, and kind of the same Leicester situation, I guess. Like you're expected to be higher up in the table, and I mean, yeah, I guess to have one goal 4 games in is pretty rough. But I would just my thing with Lampard is like Everton probably don't want to get into this relegation fight again, so I think they're gonna probably jump the gun a little bit on replacing him if they continue to not get anything going.
Yeah, we'll see. And, I just realized, Chad, we skipped out on maybe one of the most exciting games of the weekend. Crystal Palace should have, could have, would have beat Man City.
If they had Zaha, they had it in the bag.
Man. Damn it. Why do teams go up on City and be like, yo, we got this? And then City's like,
you can't. You can't.
So my goal of the week for this one, it was Alon's hat trick goal. I think it was his hat trick one.
Yeah.
Dude, I knew as soon as he was getting past that ball, he was going to score it because he had a foot on his defender.
Yeah. It's just like such a good textbook striker's goal. Like just bodies players, rides the challenge, and just like easy.
He's so fast. He's so freaking fast. So
now, do you think he should have had a red card before he got the hattie?
Yes, 100%. I 100% think that.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched it like a few times, and yeah, Anderson kind of, I guess, dives or goes down to get the ball, but at the same time, Haaland's leg is way up, like
shouldn't be up there
above his waistline. Like
yeah, they looked at it.
High kick, but
why didn't he get a red? I don't know. I have no idea. Would that game have changed? Yeah, I absolutely think if Haaland's not in the game, they win it.
Yeah, I think they could have hung on for sure. Maybe not win, but I think at least get away with the draw.
Crystal Palace they're playing really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, I think if Zaha's there, they probably could have won it. I mean, they played well without him, but Zaha he's kind of that, the main threat, I guess, of Crystal Palace. So like he's going to get the ball, he's going to make the runs and the dribbles and just like take a lot of pressure off of the other guys, and that's how you get open and you get to score now. But you almost had him.
Oh, I wanted them to win so bad. I don't really have too much to say about that game. I mean, just Haaland's amazing, and I'm not surprised he's going to lead our league in scoring. I will not be surprised if he's. All right. Hot take question. Do you see him scoring 6 goals in a game this year? Because Alan Shearer, top goal scorer, said he expects his record to be broken not only in the Premier League, but I think he has the most goals in a game. Now, if Liverpool can score 9 against Bournemouth, who's to say Haaland can't score 6 against Bournemouth? Fair question, if you ask me.
It's a fair question, but it sounds ridiculous.
It does sound ridiculous, but I think it could very well happen. I think Pep is the only reason why it couldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I think at most he'll get 4 in a game. 6 just seems too
5? What about 5? Maybe in the middle.
I'd say no, because still it's like
no?
I'm going to top it at 4 only because City will grab goals from other positions too, and I don't know, it just feels like too much. But I don't know. I might eat my words here in a few.
All right, hey, I'll buy you a beer if he doesn't score 5 this season. If he scores 5, you gotta throw me a beer.
Fair enough.
All right, it's a deal. Because it's just I feel like it's inevitable. The dude, they haven't really played a bottom.
They played Bournemouth already.
Oh yeah, they did play Bournemouth. That's right. Well, they get him again. I feel like they didn't. It wasn't clicking yet. They didn't figure out like how to feed this man easy goals. And everyone who said that he would have trouble coming into the Premier League because it's too tough. The dude is 6'5", 215. Come on.
Yeah. And he's quick.
Oh, he's just fat. They say his stride is like Usain Bolt's.
Oh my god!
It's like the same length. The gait is the same.
He's out there galloping around like
it's ridiculous. He acts like he's wearing a backpack, like a 20-pound backpack, though. Which he might be. He's got so much weight on those shoulders. So, yeah, that's I just wanted to backtrack there. We got a couple minutes here for this week. A lot of games, which I'm looking forward to, and we have the transfer deadline coming up. I know we talked about creating a club or a new squad for the transfers, which I think is going to be great. I'm curious to see who else gets brought in. Other than that, I don't have too much to talk about. You got your offensive player of the week going with Odegaard. I'm going to go with Sanchez of Brighton. Goal of the week, do you have one? Anything that stood out to you?
I guess we didn't talk about it in the Wolves and Newcastle game. But I was going back and forth between Neves, his banger, or St. Maximin.
They're both great. They're super shots. That's a coin toss question.
Yeah, like Neves, I feel like the ball's about to like get away from him, and he still just like swings it and just perfect straight
line.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, St. Maximin, it's coming in from so high up and just to like meet it so sweetly and just like laser it in.
90th minute, save him a point.
That too.
For me, it would weigh in St. Maximin's favor just because of the timeline of that game.
The context of it,
But you can't go wrong. I think that's a fair, we'll split this for the week. So yeah, that again, that was a fun game to watch till the end. St. Maximin came off hurt. He limped off. He was grabbing his left knee hamstring area and kind of like wincing when he was on the bench. So that'll be really interesting to follow. Actually, I'm going to see if there's an injury report yet on him, because I think Theo is the only one with him right now. So yeah, he's already in Premier League injuries.com. Thigh injury, hamstring strain, no return date, currently being assessed. That sucks, especially with Isaac coming in.
Yeah.
I assume Isaac will play this week.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if we'd see him today.
Me too.
But I guess just came in too late maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out more if it's just a strain or if he tore something. But it'll be nice to see them both together, because right now I don't know how many times I heard the commentators say St. Maximin's name. Like every play seems to go through him. So I think it'll be cool to see him play with another promising striker. We'll see how he develops. But
yeah, Isaac's length is pretty crazy. I bring up Anthony because Man U's making that move. I'm assuming in the next couple of days. I'm curious to see how that goes. I feel like that's a lot of money. Will that be the most expensive transfer this year?
Yeah, I think so.
I think last I saw was 110 pounds.
It just feels like a United transfer of like, classic. Panic a little bit, throw money at it, and you got to be good, right? Because we paid a lot of money for you.
boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be fun to make the little loan squad, the transfer squad in. Is there anything else that's standing out to you?
I don't think so. We hit pretty much everything.
Oh, Anthony's coming in for 80 pounds.
80.
So
still
a lot.
Price.
Yeah, still a lot.
I did see on Twitter that the celebration police is already out in full force against Arsenal.
What?
I believe it was I think it was like Sky Sports and their like post-match commentary. They were harping on Arsenal fans and the team for celebrating too much because they just beat Fulham, and like they're acting like they won the league and yada yada yada. And it's like, just let people be happy. Let people celebrate a win. Who cares who they beat? Like, it's not like they beat a team of children. Like, It's still a Premier League team, and Fulham has looked good so far this year. Just like, I don't know, people like to get on celebrations that these like past couple seasons, especially. It seems like if you have a good win, regardless of how you're performing, like you're not allowed to do that anymore, and it's funny, but kind of sad to watch people actually think that way.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And my only complaint is Saturday afternoon. All I heard in the house was da 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 da. And I was like, is this really stuck in your head right now? Saliba. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. One more tidbit, and this is like total tangent out of nowhere. We've been talking a lot about the coaches. And I was like, man, if one of these coaches gets canned, who's going to be like the replacement? Who's going to come in here and replace him? The only coach that came to my mind was Nuno from Wolverhampton. And he went to Tottenham and then got booted real quick from there. Do you have any idea who he's coaching right now?
No.
Well, let me tell you, it is a lower end club in Saudi Arabia.
What?
That random tidbit of the day. I was very surprised he wasn't in any of the top 5 leagues, and I was like, I could see him being a replacement, but now I feel like his credibility and overall resume has just plummeted. He might be getting paid. I don't know his salary. Yeah. That would be my only thought.
Because when he was at Wolves, like for the most part, they always performed well, and they had, I think, a pretty good record of taking points off the top 6 teams.
Mm-hmm. He's passionate.
Didn't work out, but I would think it has to be just a nice pay package out there or something.
No, I mean, why else would he go to?
Yeah,
it was so random.
Yeah, that's funny. I figured he went into like a championship team or something like that, but
nope. Yeah. He's out in the middle of nowhere. So good luck to him.
Yeah.
Wow, he only coached 17 games with the Spurs and then got the boot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a rough go, but I don't know. Their squad was a little bit rough at that time too. Anyway, like just they're still very top heavy. I mean, they're looking a little bit better, but I don't know if that's more Conte coaching or what. But
yeah, I mean, Kane's in his prime, so kind of. I mean, everyone's right there is in their like late 20s. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone is really deep in their 30s, probably except for Lloris. But your keepers can be old, and you're fine there. So yeah, that wraps it up for me. Unless you got anything special going on, any shout outs. I got one shout out. I just got my expected goals book here. So shout out to Sam Flew. I'm going to try to bust this out. If you want, I'll bring it to Orlando. He said I could probably finish it on like a plane ride. And he's probably right. It's pretty big font with a lot of like graphics like that. Okay. So yeah, I'll bring it to Orlando if you want to check it out or read it. Go from there. He told me I will probably be a Brentford homie after reading this thing. I guess Brentford is a great club to find lower paid players who are in this XG who are supposed to be scoring and putting them in the system and then selling them for a huge profit. That's kind of like what they did and how they got to where they are now. So I'm kind of fascinated to read that and kind of see how they got to where they are now. So I'm going to check that out and hopefully read it pretty quick.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I think right on. Well, games start, you said Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, Tuesday. Wow. Okay, so Fulham, Brighton. That'll be cool. Mm-hmm. Crystal Palace, Brentford. Yeah, I assume Palace would probably win. Chelsea, Southampton. Everton, Leeds. I'm just going to scroll to see if there's any notable games there. City plays Forest. That might be a thrashing. Liverpool, Castle. That actually might be a really good game. We got Man U and Leicester on Thursday.
That's either going to be great or terrible.
Oh, man. Now, this could, if Rodgers can win that game,
That'll go a long way.
Oh, I guess it would. It would go a long way, but man, that's going to be a shit show for that. I don't want to think about the game too much. And then the following weekend, we just have a big list of match days there. We got the Merseyside Derby, Everton, Liverpool. Nice. Yeah, that should be fun. Man U and Arsenal on Sunday. I'll definitely be watching that. And then maybe do like a group talk on Sunday. I think that would be cool. Maybe throw the invite out to people who just want to come and banter. Especially if Arsenal lose to Man U. I could see a lot of bantering going on that day. So I won't put that many bad vibes out, but that's just my thought process.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I mean, I don't know. Hope Arsenal can continue how they're playing, and I guess I hope United continue to look bad.
Are you going to be able to watch?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Right on. Let's get a little watch party going.
You.
All right, Chad. That wraps it up for me.
Yeah. Good to go.
Another week down, and we'll see y'all back here in a week.
Peace out.